Thank you for being part of the facilitation team helping the City of Santa Fe engage with residents about the evolution of the SFUAD or Midtown Campus site. When you are scheduled to facilitate, you will have a link to take you to your forum. You will be sent this link in an email and as a calendar entry. If your forum is scheduled to start at 9 a.m., for example, please click your join URL at 8:45, 15 minutes early. This is important as we need each of you to open your forums before residents click their join link. They will be told not to join more than 5 minutes early, but we just want to be sure that facilitators are ready with forums ready to go. Before I run through your facilitator role in Weave, notice how I have my screen arranged. I keep the facilitator script to one side but visible so that I can click on it to copy text I want to paste into the chat. Once I copy the text, I click over to the forum window and paste it into the group chat. Once participants start to join, you'll see their circle with their initials pop onto the bottom left of the Weave screen. As they arrive, greet them in the chat area with some sort of hello. Keep it conversational so that you kind of put people at ease, and that way you can also get them practicing with the chat function and just generally set the tone for a positive session. At various points during this training video, I'm going to speed up the playback so that we can make more progress in a shorter training video, but just kind of make note of what's going on in between the times that I actually have something useful to tell you. Once everyone is ready to go and you have a full group, or it's 5 minutes past the start time, and even if you don't have quite a full group yet, it'll be time for you to get going. What you need to do then is give the instructions that are in your facilitator guide. If you organize your screen, a little bit like the one I have here, you should have a fairly easy time clicking between the screens to copy the instructions from the facilitator guide and to paste them into the chat. This is also a good time to test the whisper function with your group and to make sure that they understand how to use it and can whisper back to you to answer questions that way. It'll help you during the forum if you want to check in with anybody privately to ask them if they need any additional help, and you don't necessarily always want to do that in the group chat area. In the beginning part of the forum, when you're giving instructions, you're also going to want to point out the instructions that are written around the edges of the map image. So at the top, you have the item key. It's important to point that out and to let people know that the best they can, it helps the data side of things if they use the right icon for the right kind of idea. But if they make a mistake, that's okay. There's also a summary of the resolution at the bottom of the map image, and then there are instructions along the left-hand side. So just make sure that they understand the resources that are available to them around the map image at some point during the setup or the starting process before they get going. I'll speed up the recording here so that you can see how this plays out. Normally this would have taken 5 or 10 minutes to get to the point where people are ready to place items onto the board. But I wanted you to have a full forum to look at, so you can tell I have 7 people down at the bottom. And then essentially before I take a big step back and let them in a more relaxed way, put their ideas onto the board, I just want to make sure that people understand the concept of clicking on an item on the right in the item palette area, dragging it onto the map image, and filling out the information, including the name and the details. So for this forum, it's a test one. You'll see a lot of test data being thrown in there just to simplify the process of doing this training video. But really what you want to see are items that have a short but clear name and the description of the item filled out to the point where anyone reading it would be able to make sense of the idea that the person has added onto the board. Once you know that people are comfortable with the process of adding an idea to the board, you should let them know you're ready to start, ask them if they have any questions, and then ask them if they're ready. Most people will respond with some kind of affirmative, yes, I'm ready, or okay, let's go. So once you're pretty confident that most of your group is with you and is answering, the question of if they're ready or not, then you can go ahead and kind of give them the green light to start adding their ideas. And at this point, as a facilitator, your job really is to keep track of time, keep looking at the quality of the content of the items. So not a decision about whether the idea is good or not, but think about it from a data quality standpoint. Is the name of the item clear? is the description area filled out? And my recommendation is to spend about 15 or 20 minutes just letting them fill out the board with ideas. And it's okay if the ideas aren't complete or don't quite meet that quality criteria yet. But make a note and kind of pay attention to which ones need some help. And then every once in a while, you may want to reach out to somebody in the group to suggest that they take some time to complete the description area, for example, of their idea. Or if the name of the item is something funny like Fred's idea and his name is Fred, sometimes people will make that mistake. You might want to suggest that they change the name of the idea to something that's descriptive for the idea itself and just remind them that the system keeps track of who created it, so he doesn't need to put his name in the name field. You can see that as I watch what's happening on the board, I tend to flip between the list view and the board view. I like to see visually where things go, but I find it easier to read ideas, especially if the description is lengthy. I find it a little easier to read them from this particular screen here on the list view. And you can also sort by keyword, which is handy when you have questions about something, or if you want to take a look at how many ideas were created by a particular person, or to see if, perhaps there's a person in your group who hasn't created any ideas yet. And when that happens, like in this case, I just checked in with Mary. I just want to make sure that she can participate, and if she's choosing to not add any ideas yet, it's because it's her choice rather than because she's having some problem that I might be able to help her with. Here you can see that I'm checking in on an idea that Kristen added to the map image, and it's pretty sparse. And so what I want to do is use the whisper function to just check in with Kristen and ask if she'd be willing to add some more information to that. So it might be that I want an item name that's more clear, or actually in this case, an item description of any kind would be helpful. Again, it's test data, but you get the idea that what I see here is an idea that wouldn't be very easy to use after this project is over for the city folks. So I want to make sure that whatever idea gets added, the city has the ability to actually understand and read it. So I'll just ask her nicely if she could fill that in and keep an eye on it, make sure that she does so. And if I asked her once or twice and for whatever reason it doesn't get done, it's okay. We've done our job to ask, and we can't force residents to complete it the way we think it's best. But we should notice when things are missing and make the request that the resident, or the participant in this case, fills out the data a little bit more completely. Near the end of your time together, and again, this takes about an hour, you'll want to, along the way, have warned people, you have 15 minutes left, you have 5 minutes left, that kind of thing. But near the end, people will ask questions that'll most likely be covered in the FAQ that's part of your facilitator guide. So if somebody asks what happens after this is over, you'll have a good answer there to copy and paste. And you'll want to answer their questions, thank them for their participation, let them know that their ideas are really valuable and that you're grateful that they took the time to provide them in this format. And if they have any other comments or questions about the platform or about the process, if you don't know the answer, it really is the safest and best way to just say, I'm not sure about that answer. I'll let them know that you asked it, and the city will answer common questions in the feedback that they do give to residents about the project itself. After everyone said goodbye and you're completely finished, there's a stop button. It's the red one with the little square box on there. When you're finished, your job is to just click that, end the forum, and you'll see the system gives that message. And then at that point, you're free to shut your browser down and you've completed your session at that point. Thank you for your willingness to help facilitate this project for the City of Santa Fe. And if you have further questions, you know where to reach me. Thank you.